Hello and welcome. On behalf of Pat Chun, our Director of Athletics, and our University President, Kirk Schultz, I want to welcome you to Nathan Choate and his family's introduction to Pullman. Unfortunately, Pat is not able to join us as he is in Indianapolis on NCAA meetings, but he did want to extend his warm wishes to Lori, Chance, Kyla, Camden, and Kyla for joining us in the Palouse. So I know that everyone is very excited to hear Nathan's vision for the program, but before we get to that, I do want to thank members of the current roster for being here today. I think that we have talked about this at length, but between workouts, summer ball, and family obligations, you guys are getting pulled in a million different directions. Despite that, I think your presence here today is a testament to your commitment to this program as we celebrate new beginnings. We've talked about this at length, but leaders don't get to pick and choose when they lead, but frankly, it is your response to the situation that ultimately showcases your true leadership abilities. Based on your reaction, to say that your response to this transition has been exemplary would be an understatement. For those of us that have been around the baseball program, I think that you may know when we started this search process that we engaged with every single member of the current team. We asked them what they wanted as their next head coach. Thanks to their candor, we were able to put together that profile in short order, as words like toughness and transparency and caring were repeated over and over again. Ultimately, they wanted a leader that had that showcased accountability to a championship standard. They wanted a leader that could clearly articulate how we were going to achieve our goals of returning to Omaha. And they wanted a leader that not only invested in them when we achieved our goals, but also put their arm around them when we had hiccups along the road. For those of us within the athletic department, I think you clearly understand our mission. Our mission is to develop well-rounded individuals, not just fill out box scores. So I think after hearing from Nathan later today, you will quickly realize he is exactly that type of leader. He is a leader that is going to invest his heart and soul into this program. Multiple times over the past few weeks, Nathan and I have talked at 7 o'clock in the morning after he's had a 2 a.m. film session breaking down the roster, and he is absolutely giddy with the talent on the roster that he inherited. He was able to talk to the team late last week and to say that he is excited about the character and the overall makeup of this locker room also would ring true. We all understand that there are a lot of inputs required in order to be successful, especially at this level. But after meeting Nathan later today, you will realize that he epitomizes the full spectrum of leadership qualities. But for this roster, again, I want to make it abundantly clear, your new head coach is tough. Your new head coach is transparent, and there is no doubt that your new head coach cares. So without further ado, please welcome your new head baseball coach, Nathan Choate.
Okay, I don't know if you watched us walk in, but that fight song that I nailed, by the way, because of my wife and kids, we were up all night practicing that. That was the thing I was the most nervous about. So thank you to Lori and the kids. First off, I want to thank President Schultz, Pat, obviously he's not here, Mitch, going through this process. And when I got a phone call and heard from Washington State, you know, the first thing that I talked to my wife about, he asked, am I interested? And I said yes, because I think there's a lot of resources here to win. And that's the thing that I want the players to understand, that we are here to win. right? And I believe that in my heart of hearts that you can win here if you get the right people in the room. But I asked Lori, I said, hey, what do you think about moving to Pullman, Washington? And she goes, this was her question. She goes, can you win there? I said, yeah, you can win there. And so that was it. Not the schools, nothing, the community. Can you win there? My wife's a little competitive, so if you're yelling at a pitching change or something, she's probably yelling just as loud as you are at me. And, you know, I had some people mention to me and say, hey, are you nervous about a press conference? And I said, well, the bottom line is if I bomb the press conference and we win a lot of games, nobody will care, right? I could crush the press conference. We lose all the games. Nobody likes me. So that's the goal, is to win a lot of baseball games, and let's not lose sight of that. But, you know, when I talked to the guys on the Zoom, one of the things that I wanted them to understand was, and for you guys, you were there, this is your team, right? What I would like, and what it's going to take some time, I want it to be our team. And it's going to take me earning their respect, earning the community's respect. I've been to enough of these where people stand up here and they promise all the things in the world. Actions speak louder than words. And so the thing that I'm asking is give us time to earn your respect on how we play baseball here, right? Give our coaching staff time to earn your respect and trust, right? There's nothing I can say in 10 minutes that's going to convince you of that. That's going to be a daily interaction that we have, right? And so I hope the guys understand that this is their program. This is the Washington State's baseball program. I just happen to be leading it at the time. And this is the community of Pullman. This is your program. My goal is to make it our program. It'll never be my program. It'll be our program. Our players, our coaching staff, and the community. Okay, so a couple things. I'm a history buff. And being able to come to a program that has 2 head coaches that have almost 1,800 wins in their career, right? Buck Bailey, Bobo Brayton. I've already got the alumni calling me and saying, hey, Coach, you have to live up to those guys. Well, just so we know, they had almost 1,800 wins combined between the 2 of them. That's going to take me a little time to get to 1,800, everybody, so we're not going to do that in day one. But to have an award, a national award in college baseball, the John Olerud Award for the best 2-way player in the country, to have an award named after one of our alumni is a huge deal, right? I don't know if people that aren't huge college baseball fans understand that, but to have an alum that has an award, a national award named after him, is a major deal. So, you know, the alumni that I've spoken to, they want to hear the plan. They want to hear the vision, what we're going to do. They want to tell me all of the things, why we need to improve, right? And they're right. But once again, I ask just for a little bit of time to earn their respect. If you watch us play baseball, the way that we're going to play baseball, we're going to be aggressive, we're going to be tough, we're going to pitch in on the mound, we're going to have some swagger, we're going to play the game right way. When you come to a game and you look at a guy, you're going to go, that's a Washington State baseball player. That's how we're going to play the game of baseball. The amount of wins and all of those things, we'll see. I could sit here and promise the world, but it's going to take some time. But I'm telling you, the way that we're going to play, we are going to get people that want to come to Pullman, Washington, and play baseball at this university. I did not take a visit here. I never came up and looked at the campus and the facilities, right? Yes, the BTO is phenomenal. This past season, we played at Vanderbilt and Oklahoma State. Great facilities. Their player development center is not better than the BTO. I was just there 3 months ago. But that's not why I took the job. I took the job because I know you can win here if you get the right people. People that want to be a part of the community and people that want to be here and win in our program, right? So that's the thing that we're going to do, is we're going to identify the right people. Some characteristics of players that we're looking for. I want guys that have a huge imagination, right? That dream big, that feel like you can play in the big leagues, that feel like you can go to Omaha, right? And people are going to laugh at that. Well, you haven't gone since 1976. You haven't made a regional since 2010. How can you talk about Omaha? There's a stepping stone. Well, if your dreams aren't big enough, right, or if your dreams are really big, people are going to laugh at them. They are. And what you need to do then is you need to have a chip on your shoulder to prove them wrong. And I do have a chip on my shoulder. And Pat's right. When he talked about it, he put something on social media. I do have a chip on my shoulder, right? Because this program has a lot of history to it. And I understand the responsibility taking over this job. This isn't just a job. This is a responsibility on my end and my coaching staff's end to do things the right way, right? And so I want our players to know that you have to have huge dreams. And then when people laugh at those dreams, you need to have a chip on your shoulder to prove them wrong. That's the way I am in my life. And I expect the same thing out of our players and anybody associated with our program. Okay. Coaching staff. I get the job. I came up on Tuesday, bought a house that day. We worked quickly in my household, right? The next thing was getting a coaching staff. Well, I was in the WCC for several years, and there was one coach before this all happened that I thought was doing an unbelievable job among all others as an assistant coach. Jake Valentine was crushing it at University of Portland. He was bringing in players left and right. The relationships that he was developing with guys in between the lines, I saw it because we played them. They competed their tails off, and they loved playing for him. He's a relationship guy. He can recruit the Northwest, and I am thrilled that he decided to stay on staff. That was the number one hire I made right there. And I do think the players, you did an unbelievable job keeping this roster together. There's a reason that you guys stayed together, and he's a part of this thing, and he's going to obviously continue to be a part of it. So thrilled to have Jake on staff. Next, Joe Perez. Joe and I have a long history together. We worked together at Grand Canyon before people had even heard of Grand Canyon University and all the commercials. Joe was at Central Arizona. Joe won 2 national championships at Central Arizona. 2. He was a recruiting coordinator and infield coach. He was the 2021 National Junior College Assistant Coach of the Year, right? And people ask me, well, what do you think? You're at a Power 5 school. You need to get a guy with more experience. The guy won 2 national championships. What more experience do you need than that? Like I told you before, if we do this thing, we're going to do it the right way with the right people. Joe is the right person. Him and his family are the right people for this program. He's a phenomenal infield coach. And you guys, Washington State has had several players that came from Central, and I spoke with them, and they thought he would be a tremendous fit here. Really fortunate to have Joe. Next, we have Eric Hutting. Eric was a catcher at Long Beach State in Southern California. He comes from a traditional baseball family. Several of his family members have played in professional baseball. He was with me for the last 2 years at Loyola Marymount. He was a huge part of our success. I call him a Swiss Army knife. He can do anything. He coached third base. He works with the hitters as well. He's going to assist Jake on that. He's going to help me with the pitchers. He's our catching coach. And you're not going to find a tougher person because I'm hard on people. I'm just telling you right now. And the fact that he has stuck around for 2 years and decided to come up here and follow us and be a part of it, it just shows his toughness. And he's going to make us tougher. And he's made me tougher and better as a coach, and super appreciative that he's a part of the program. So, okay, wind it up here. You don't have to listen to me too much longer. But the thing that, like I said before, with the alumni, right, we're looking forward to earning your respect, right? The community earning your respect, the university earning your respect. So how is that going to happen, right? I'm not going to promise wins or anything like that. We are going to be a team-first mentality. It is about the team. With the transfer portal, all of the things, NIL, all those are real things, and we're going to address those. But you have to want to be a baseball player at Washington State. That's what we want. It starts with that. You have to want to be here. It's about the team, the team, the team. One day, at some point in time, hopefully it's after we go to Omaha, right? Many years from now, there'll be another new head coach of the baseball program and another. This is not my program. It is our program, right? And so I want people to understand team, 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 right? The individual, yes, it's great. We'll do individual development, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's about the team, right? I have 4 kids. I have a wife. We have a team, right? You have to work through problems when you have a team. You just don't turn and run when you have problems. That's why building a team of people that want to be here, when you hit adversity, you learn how to fight through it. So that's the next part. We're talking about toughness, okay? We're going to be a team. We're going to have toughness. That way you can fight through adversity, okay? You're resilient. You can get your butt kicked and lose 14-1 on opening night when all these people are here cheering us on to see if it's different now. And all of a sudden we lose 14-1 and it's the same old thing. Or how tough are you to show up the next day in the uniform and flash the W and go, let's go. Let's compete. We're going to show you how tough we are. And so how do you get tougher? People say, you can't make people tougher. Well, you're not born tough. You know how you get tougher? You do hard things. That's how you get tougher. So I'm going to challenge you guys. And when a player knows that you care about them and you know what the heck you're doing, you can push people. Right? And we're going to push you. We're going to push you to levels that you don't even know that you can go. Right? Because at 18, 19, 20 years old, I needed coaches to push me because I didn't know how far I could go. Right? And then finally, like I said, team, we're going to be tough. Finally, we're going to be grateful. We're going to be grateful for the BTO. We're going to be grateful for the support on this campus. Right? Because a lot of people came before us. I had nothing to do with that building being built. I just was given the keys and say, hey, this is your office and this is your facilities, right? So we need to have gratitude for the people that came before us, for the people that won championships, for the people that donated to that building, where we're going to keep that thing championship ready all the time, right? And I think when you have an attitude of gratitude, really, and you just show people that you're appreciative, that's what people want to know. They want to know that you're thankful and that you care and that you're playing for more than yourself. It's not just our team, it's the alumni. The alumni, I was speaking to several alums, and they have a group chat called Teammates. That's what it's called. It's called Teammates. When you play baseball at Washington State and you graduate, you get to be part of the teammates, right? And you're a part of that building. And how would you like it 10 years from now if somebody walked through and wasn't appreciative for the stuff that you did, right? So I'm super appreciative. Our players, our coaching staff are going to be super appreciative for all of those that came before us and all of those that are going to come after us. And then the final thing, to whom much is given, much is required. We've been given all the resources. The only thing people have asked me, what's the only challenge? It's cold. Well, guess what? We're tough, so it doesn't matter. Right? We cover that. We check that box. Right? To whom much is given, much is required. Myself, my coaching staff, our players. We understand the task at hand. We're super excited. Like I said, look forward to earn your respect. Go Cougs.
I think we're all ready to play. So as we transition to the next part of the afternoon, please welcome the voice of Cougar Athletics, Matt Chasnow. Chaz is going to do a little Q&A.
Thank you. I don't mean to test your theory on toughness here today, Coach. This isn't going to be one of those moments, but this is a fun thing. Go Cougs. You'll get used to that. That's a fun deal here. So you haven't been in Pullman long. What are your initial impressions?
Very passionate fan base, and I've had more people wave at me. And in Los Angeles, I'd be a little scared, like I did something wrong, but everyone's waving, and I'm like, did I cut them off? But no, it's been great. Very friendly.
I love the competitiveness of your wife. I love that your little one's knocked out.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
She's out.
Yeah.
Not a big deal in my household, as you can see.
It's fantastic. Well, this is a huge day for Cougar baseball. Congratulations and welcome. And it's an honor to have you here, and it's really exciting to get a chance to talk to you. After this, we'll sing the fight song. There'll be a media scrum, and we'll do pictures as well, right on the back end of this. Tell us a little bit about your success this past year at LMU, how that translates, and where you started from at LMU.
Yeah, so I came in as an assistant in 2019 for a team that hadn't made a regional in 20 years. And we won our conference tournament, went to a regional final against UCLA, had them on the brink. They were the number one team in the country at the time. And then I took over the program in 2020. COVID hit. So the next time there's a global pandemic, I am dialed on how to work through that thing as a head coach. Yeah, we had a lot of young players the last couple of years. And then this year, when you fight through some adversity, you reap the rewards. And so we didn't have the most talented team, or the most talented players, but we had the best team. And so that's one of the things we're going to preach with these guys is team. But yeah, no, super exciting experience. Owe a lot to those players in that program and the opportunity that they gave me and obviously for here. But yeah, very special.
In the baseball world, you have a really strong national reputation as a pitching guy, as someone who can get very specific on the mound. I'm told already you've actually kind of done a dive into that here for the Cougs and maybe expand a little bit about your expertise there.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented guys here. Mitch was right. I've been watching a lot of video and that kind of stuff on the guys. They're very talented athletes. There's some pitch plan stuff that I think we're going to change. For the people that have gone against pitching staffs that I've coached, it's not a big surprise. We like to pitch in, right? So I'm not giving away any secrets right there, but nobody likes to hit fastballs in, especially when it's 38 degrees. So we're going to attack the inner half with the fastball. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to have some conviction behind it. And the pitching staff is basically the drummers of the band. They set the tone. So if you want to play good defense, guess what you need to be able to do? You need to be able to pitch and throw a lot of strikes. If you want to score runs, guess what you need to be able to do? Pitch. So you're not down 7-1 all the time. So it really just kind of sets the tone for the program and the game, and there's a ton of talent here. Obviously, some guys have some opportunities to play professional baseball. I'm conflicted because I want them to get what they want, but if you don't, it'd be a great time to come back and be a part of building this thing. So.
Sounds like you've got a pretty good sense of what it is, because you mentioned the 38 degrees. That happens here occasionally.
Yeah.
in the calendar year for baseball.
Yeah, and for anyone that's ever been around me, I'm just going to be honest. I hate the cold. I do, and so I'm going to be cold, but I think we can use that as an advantage. Like if we get pitchers that are throwing 95 miles an hour and we can own the inner half, if we hit a couple guys on the way, we hit a couple guys on the way. That's the way it goes. But I think we can use the toughness piece, which is part of what I want to do in the cold. Because guess what? They're not training in those conditions. So we should be better in those conditions than our opponent. We can use that as an advantage.
Big home field advantage, yeah. You had a lot of public endorsements from really big names in baseball, big West Coast names, and at the major league level. Dave Roberts, Joe Kelly, UCLA head coach John Savage. These are all guys that you not only know and have befriended, but believe in you.
This is going to cost me a lot of money. I paid them all.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just respect. Like we talked about earlier about earning respect. And since I became a coach, that's just been my mentality, is you just want to earn people's respect. And so obviously it was great to hear from those guys. Some of those guys I worked for, some I competed against. But at the end of the day, it's about earning people's respect. And so obviously that did mean a lot. I've been really fortunate to be around some really good baseball people.
When you were at the field, when you looked at the program, you mentioned John Olerud. Buck Bailey and Bobo Brayton are two of the great coaches in the history of the sport, this being the 13th winningest program in the history of the game. What does it mean to you to be the 18th head coach of this program? And you look at the outfield wall, you look at that right center field wall and see those three names on there forever.
Yeah, it's a huge honor, but it's a big responsibility. We have some work to do. And that's the biggest thing is I'm not as caught up in the honor, but it is an honor. But what I want everybody to be here at a press conference when we go to Omaha. That's the one that I really care about, honestly. So it's just a huge responsibility. There's such a passionate alumni base. I've already talked to several people. They want us to get back to winning ways. And so that's the challenge. And I love the challenge, but it's a big responsibility because it's such a historic program.
Well, congratulations. And on behalf of the entire Pullman community in Washington State baseball, we welcome you, and it's really exciting to talk to you here today. I'm going to make you take the spotlight this one time. I'm going to step off the stage. It's your program. We're going to sing the fight song. You lead us in the fight song. We'll all join you. We're not going to leave you on an island. And then we'll break out and we'll do pictures and we'll do media scrum.
Okay, the only thing I'm going to say, because now that I am the head coach, it's not my program, it's our program. So you four dudes are going to get up here. We're going to do this thing together, man. So let's go. This is shared responsibility.